Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, May the 11th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Trading Walmal lines with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and from Walmal's. Walmal, I thought it'd be a good idea that we actually get a top of the hour trade or two in with the boys and girls looking at the Walmart lines. So
Sure.
we'll put it on the M5 chart, and we see the Walmart lines are, we've got one at 50, one at 60, but the previous hour's highs at 56.9, call it 57 for the break.
Yep, and that's kind of where you would want to go. Those are your breaking points, and knowing what I do, I like to go and wait for a second touch of the line before I go and take it. The 57.3 or the 50 or 57 as it is on your chart, if you look to the previous hour, or actually 2 hours ago, look how many times it went up there or got close to there and got rejected at that point. So that kind of tells you that that's an area of concern that, that for whatever reason, price doesn't want to get there. But at the same time, from the positive point of view, is, by the way, we just went across the 50 to the short. So that's the first touch of that. And if you look at this 1 minute right now, I mean, that 1 minute is, I know I'm changing subjects mid-course, but this 1 minute is already five pips. That's a pretty big 1 minute candle. But that got me a little distracted because I wanted to go and take that trade.
You addict.
but generally speaking, I want to go and wait for a second touch. And just, if we would have gone and just taken that trade just now, it's the type of thing where, more times than not, it'll go and break it, and then it'll run right back up so they can go and test it again. So a lot of times what I'll do is if it takes the first break, I'll just go and grab 2 or 3 pips and get out, knowing, as soon as price stops that it's going to probably go back up, test that 50 again, and give me another opportunity to go in a second time. And that's kind of what it just did. I couldn't have asked for it any better than that. It actually did exactly what I said it tends to do. And so what I would have done is on that touch of that line, potentially just go and take another short at that point in time. And if you would have done that on the first trade, you would have gotten, well, let's see, about 3.2 possibly. And on the second trade, on that second touch there, you would have been right now up like a pip.
Yeah, just to let the boys and girls and non-binary traders know, Walmall and I are on different brokers, so he might actually gone back and hit the 50 line, but it didn't quite get there on mine. We got the 49.3.
Yeah, it's funny because like on my chart, I got all the way up to 50.5. This shows you the difference in brokers, and broker to broker, the price is going to change, and but you can't trade what somebody else is trading or what somebody else is seeing. You got to trade what you're seeing, and just base your judgments based off of that. So But in any case, you could have gotten into that trade. You could have run down, picked up a pip, or I probably still would be in that trade now a second time because I'd be waiting for it to go and either go to +3 or -3 because that first trade, that first line cross, it got up to 3 pips. I know there's been some traders out there on the Facebook page and said, "Why do you get out at -3? Why not hold on to it and wait?" And I said, that's a valid way of doing it. I personally don't like doing that. I'd rather just go and take my -3, take my lumps, and look for another opportunity, and and just wait for that to come along. So I would have been in a second time right now, or possibly even a third time, and just waiting for it to occur. So right now I'd be up basically just a little bit under 3 pips, waiting for it to develop. And that's the thing with the Walmart line. It's one of these things where if you're looking to get your 5 or 10 pips, generally speaking, it takes time to do that, and you got to have the patience to wait, and you got to have the fortitude to go and let it go against you a little bit as well. So that's part of the method. You just got to be willing to do that. And I think the best way to be able to do that and be able to suffer through that, because it is a form of suffering, is that you got to have your risk management in place and saying, so that you're not losing too much money. If it goes a full 10 pips against me, let's say your appetite is that you can only lose $100 on a trade. Well, that full 10 pips it's got to equal $100. So you're basically saying I'm willing to risk $10 a pip, and that's how you have to go and look at it.
Right. And, some people say that what you really need to do is have a set of mechanical rules. And then once you enter the trade, you have a mechanical exit on the upside and on the downside. So you put in your TP, you put in your stop loss, and you walk away. You don't
Yeah.
you don't live and die by every tick like we do.
Yeah, and that's the thing that would certainly make trading a lot easier to do, and it would. I don't know if you make any more money that way or make any less money doing it that way, but it's certainly easier to do it that way. That there's no question about it. One of the things also, just from the Walmal perspective, one of the things to keep in mind is when you go and look at an hourly candle, if you notice just about every single hourly candle, there's a wick on each side. So sometimes what you got to keep in mind is that first move in a particular direction, what it's actually doing is putting a particular wick in on a particular side. Not always true, but it tends to happen that way. So I kind of try to just keep track of that, just keep that in mind. That's part of the reason why I wait for that second touch, because that first time across, maybe putting that wick in.
Yeah, and speaking of wicks, we'll look at that last hour.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's talk about a wick on one particular side. You can. But looking at this again, now we got another opportunity. Had another opportunity to enter. I know somebody said that it can be a little bit chaotic. And yeah, it can be chaotic, but that's also why talking about it and trading this the way you suggested, doing it mechanically, takes a lot of that chaos out of it. Because, it's the type of thing where, especially you have an EA that can do this for you. You put in your trade, you put in your stop loss, you put in your, you put in your take profit, and you put in, if you have an EA that allows you to do it, to go and put additional stop losses in based on other conditions that have come up, then it becomes, very easy to do. In fact, in the old days, when I first started trading this, that's exactly how I do it. I'd literally go and wait for the first touch, okay, wait for it to go and close on the other side of the line, wait for that second touch, and I take the trade. And honestly, what I would do is I'd walk away from the computer. I'd just walk away, go make myself a cup of coffee, and come back and see what the market did for me, or didn't do for me. More like did to me.
Yeah, so I'm showing them the ranges. Right now we've got an 8 pip range, which is in the 12th percentile, so chances are this candle most likely is going to grow.
Yeah, and the good thing is, to the downside, the thing is, to the downside, there's a good chance it's going to grow to the downside. Actually, that's not true. I was looking at the wrong candle. I thought it was the opening candle. What I was going to say is that, we don't know at this point in time, we don't know which way the candle is really going to expand. Other than this, the fact is that the hourly candle right now is what color? It's red. So we always want to try to go in the direction of the hourly candle.
Yeah. And I was going to say something. We also promised the boys and girls and non-binary traders out there that we talked to them about the DSR. So I flipped over to the 1 minute chart that has the 3-ball, the 3-level ZZ indicator on it. And right now we've got a 1-ball sitting under M1. So maybe let's talk a little bit about those DSRs.
Yeah. That can be very, very profitable and give you a good idea. Now, what do those balls actually mean? What those balls mean is they're not turning points, even though you look at the chart and in hindsight, they all look like turning points. But they're not turning points. What they are is breakouts, because those balls, if you look at that one ball, it got placed, the previous candle, and it just kept on moving down, then eventually turned into a 2-ball, and it's moving down. Like right now, it's moving down. So that's really a breakout move. It's not a turning point until it actually exhausts how far it's going to go and move in a particular direction. And I think that's what gets people into trouble, because what happens is a lot of people go and say, well, look at the chart. I got a 2-ball here. Look at all the other 2-balls. Look at all the other 3-balls. Look, if I would have gotten in there at the high or the low of that 2-ball, that 3-ball, look how much money it could make. Well, the problem is you don't necessarily know when that 3-ball has stopped moving. And so for that reason, what you need to do is you need to go and find a way to go and say, okay, I am now convinced this 2-ball has stopped moving down. if you look at the chart right now, has that two ball stopped moving down? Obviously not.
Right.
I mean, we're watching it move down, so this would not be a good place to go long right now, and we need to go and wait a little bit. And that's the thing about going and making money on these DSR trades, is you got to be willing to wait for that completion of that particular move. And once you've got that in place and you got that completion, then you can make some money, because then you can go and sit there and say, okay, we're in a good shot. So what I would do in this particular case, I don't like taking trades off of two balls, but in this particular case, on a 1 minute chart, I'd wait for this 1 minute candle to close, and then if I got the next candle was also green and broke the high of this candle, I'd take that trade. Generally speaking, I like to take them off of the three balls, because look how far the three balls are from each other. There's a little bit more room there for growth.
So what I was going to say is, in the latest version of the semaphore 3-level ZZ, and ZZ stands for zigzag semaphore that I modified, you can see I've got the semaphore range, and that in this particular case is the distance between the 3-ball and the 2-ball. And then where it says distance, what that is the distance from the close to the most recent semaphore. And so that way you can see. So right now, a long trigger might be either the top of this green candle, which would be a rat reversal, bull candle, or bear candle closes, bull candle closes, take the break of the high of the bull candle. Or you would want this candle here to want price to break the high of the candle that put in the 2-ball. And as you can see, it just broke through again. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, Walmal, I had taken a short at 49 and I bailed out with a couple of pips. And of course, now I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
But this right here is a perfect example of why you wait. You have to go and wait, because just because you got a green candle there doesn't mean that the expansion hasn't stopped. All it means is that right now we've had some type of a little bit of a pullback, so we need to go and wait and get some type of confirmation. And that's why I go and wait for the break of the high of that candle. So I would not have gotten in because of that, because I didn't get a break. I got to the line, but I did not get through the line.
Yeah.
So I would not.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, so and another thing to look at is count. So we saw the 2-ball, I believe, right here. So that was 1. You see the 2-ball here, that's 2. Sometimes I want to see it move 3 times before I look for a reversal.
Yeah, it just and that's, I've seen it move as many as 4, 5, 6, 7 times. But the thing is, more times than not, if it's moved 3 times, that's probably as far as it goes. Before it goes and does a run up in the other direction. The thing is, it may only run. Let's say it ran down, 20 pips. It may only run up 5 or 10 pips, but there's an opportunity to pick up some of those pips, and that's how you play this.
Exactly. So, and the other thing, just looking at this candle, you see this long wick. One of the reasons I took that short was I had a feeling it's got to come back and cover up some of that wick. I just didn't stay in it long enough because, one, I'm doing a video and trying to trade at the same time, which means my attention is split. But you can see here on this particular Walmal trade, the short at 50, if you wait it'd be, good for about 12, 13 pips at the moment.
Yep. And the most, if you would have taken the very first break, the most you would have ever gone underwater would have been 4 pips.
Right.
Which means, which is 4/10 or, what is that? That's 2/5 of whatever you risk. So let's say if you were going and risking $100 on that trade, the most you would have gone down was $40. But
right.
Now, you potentially could have been up like $130.
And you know what, Walmal? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over once again. So, boys and girls and non-binary traders, I hope you like that. Let us know if you want us to do more videos like that. So, as you sit in front of your trading platform, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.